In this video we will draw a cute holiday themed illustration step by step. You can download the brush set along with the color palette via the link in the video description below. And if you are ready, let's get started! Let me go ahead and create a canvas. It will have the size of 2000 by 2500 pixels and DPI is set to 300. This is how today's color palette looks. Well, maybe it may seem not very Christmassy, but we will play around with various blending modes and also use bloom feature to add some glow to the illustration. As for the brushes, I made a bundle that includes various textures and stamps from my older free and paid brush sets. The bundle and the color palette are free to download via the link below the video. And if you'd like to check my premium brush sets and watch in-depth tutorials, please visit my Patreon page. It's also in the video description. In today's tutorial I'm going to use selection tool again, but in a completely different way than it was in the retrofuturistic art poster. This tutorial got attention, so you may go check it out if you haven't yet. To be able to use selection, let's first sketch a simple shape of our transparent Christmas light. I've picked a dark color, that is number 13. And now we can go to sketching section to select 6B pencil. It's my favorite sketching brush. And the size is set to 40%. Let's make it big enough, so later we could place houses, a tree, and whatever objects we want inside it. In this case, our Christmas light will work as a snow globe. It may have any shape you prefer. Mine looks like a short carrot. I will outline it. And I think we can also sketch this metal part on top. I will draw two lines going up, make it symmetrical, and then connect them on top with another arc. Also connect them with rounded corners. In the end we'll get a shape like this. I will also outline it. And our quick sketch is ready. We can now use any tools, including selection. Since we are going to apply a light color, it will be nice if we change the background color now. For that, let's click here on the background color and select number 1 from the palette. But now to make the sketch visible, we need to invert it in the layer menu. It's here. Then I will also lower the opacity and set it to around 40% or so. I always like to keep the sketch on top of all layers. So let's click on the plus button to create a new layer and then drag it underneath. Now we can use the selection. It's here under the icon. So I clicked on it and from the menu, let's select freehand. We don't need to fill it. Color fill needs to be turned off. And now we can start outlining it. I will try to make the lines smooth. But even if you don't manage to do it, they can be fixed later using an eraser. I will do it slowly and rotating the canvas, so it will be easier this way. Going upper and finishing it on top. Now we need to close the selection, so let's tap on the starting point. We have it. To be able to use the selection in the future, let's save it. And to do that, I will click Save and Load. It looks like heart. When this menu opens, we need to click on the plus icon. And it will be added in the list. So it is saved. Let's keep it active and go to change the color from the palette. It will be number 2. Next we need to pick a texture brush. I will go to the bundle and select Structured Sponge. It's from my Easy Paint set. We can now remove the sketch so we can see the selection better. And to apply the color gradually, let's lower the opacity to around 60% and adjust the size. I will try 15% and start drawing on the edge. Apply low pressure first. Go down and also work on the left side. Now we can start pressing more, but draw closer to the edge to make it very light and more opaque. So let me lower the size even more and continue painting. I will apply it at the bottom more and also on top. Once we made the outline, let's try to add more texture that will go slightly inside. And for that I will increase the size again. Now it can be set to 15%. I am applying low pressure here and drawing gradually. The strokes may also go inwards. So this texture will be located like behind. If you are not quite satisfied with the result, you can use a razor, but you need to set it to the same brush in order not to damage the texture that already exists. Okay, let me finish it, and I think now it is fine. We can deselect. Let me now grab a razor and set it to textured liner. I will adjust the edge a little bit to make it look not so sharp and match with the style. So I will set it to 13% and just erase it slightly. But you don't have to do it. It's just me who likes textures. And also the line will look more clean, because selection is not perfect. Okay, the last stroke, I think. Just keeping it slightly textured. Okay. That's it. Now I like it. We can bring back the sketch and draw the metal part as well. But for that I will create a new layer above this one. As the base color, let's select number 3. And in the brushes I will switch to textured liner to make the edge textured too. I'm drawing the first line, then the one on the opposite side, also this arc, and on top it will go a little lower. So I will make it overlap with the glass. Now let's fill it. Let's check it out. Okay. This part is also ready. Now we can shade it immediately. And to do that I will create a layer with a clipping mask, so all the textures will stay inside. Let's start with the color number 15. And on this part, I want to use textured shader. Here we can set the size to around 32%. Let's apply this color on the sides, making horizontal strokes, but give some space in the center. Then also do it on the opposite side. We can rotate the canvas even this way, so it looks same. Now let's select first color that matches with the background. Lower the brush size to around 17% and apply it more on the edges, but make it not so wide. I will also make this horizontal strokes, and they may go slightly diagonal. Let's do the same on the right edge. We can press a bit more. After that, lower the size, let's say to 9%, and finally paint on top, so we don't see the edge at all, only the texture. I will paint more here on the side, also on this one. And now we can add the highlight to separate this part from the background. So I will switch to the second color, lower the size to 7%, and start painting on the edge again, also making horizontal strokes. That will go like this. Then it will go upper, and I will press more right on the edge. So it looks more highlighted. Then I will finish it on the left side, starting carefully, because we don't see the edge, so we can only guess. But if you like, you can remove the background to be able to see it right away. Just a few more strokes. And in the end I will apply it on top as well, but make it thin. After we did that, let's highlight the part in the center, using the same color. I will just create a layer between these two. Set the size to 10% and start making horizontal strokes like this, with low pressure first. And then I will start to press more, right in the center, for a brighter highlight. The shading is ready. Let's add the details. So we can merge these layers, then create another one, but also clip it. Let's start with a dark color, and also change the brush to textured liner. We need to pick the thickness of the brush, and I think we can set it to around 20%. Just draw a few lines that will go from the left side to the right. I will just lower the pressure in the end. The last one. Now I will grab a razor. Let me check it. I think I will set it to soft brush. And just remove it from the slight part. After that I will duplicate the layer. Alpha lock the one at the bottom, so we can recolor it. First we need to select the color, that will be number 2. Go back to the layer and click Fill Layer. After that I will click on the arrow and move it slightly diagonally, like this. We can also try to rotate it. I think I will also lower the opacity, so it's not so bright, at around 59%. Now this part is completely ready. Let's start working on the scene inside. So I'm also merging these layers, and after that I will create a layer under all layers. If you remember, we saved the selection, so let's now activate it. For that we need to go to Selection and click Save and Load again. Now from this list we need to select our selection. Sounds a bit funny, but it is what it is. Let's pick a color, and to draw a snowdrift, I will be using color number 5 as the base color. One of my favorite brushes to draw snow is Sugar Cloud from Sweet Party set. It is in the bundle. I'll just set the opacity to 85% and the size to around 10%. Let's determine the shape. So I will draw an arc like this. And then paint inside. Due to our selection, the color won't go outside the shape. We can just make the size even smaller and work on the edge. So it looks fluffy. Now we can go and alpha lock the layer to shade it. Let's start with the darker color number 6. Now we can increase the size, let's say to 14%, and start painting at the bottom with very low pressure. I think we can go even darker and select color number 14. Paint more at the bottom. But let's try not to make it too dark. Finally, we need to highlight it. So let's pick light color number 10 and apply it on top of the shape. Like this. Now we can deselect it. After that, I will go and duplicate the layer. Let's grab this one at the bottom and move it to the side. We can also scale it and rotate however we want. I want to place it somewhere here. Then I will duplicate the layer once again. And now drag it down. I will also rotate it and scale it in freeform. So it will go down like this. Now we need to remove these parts. The easiest way to do that is to go to Selection, load it again, but after that invert. Now we just need to swipe 3 fingers down and cut. Let's do the same with the second shape. Loading the selection, then inverting it and cutting. It is done. Now we can draw the houses. And to do that we need to create a layer under all layers again. To draw the first house, I will select color number 8 and also textured liner. Let's draw a simple rectangular house with a triangular roof. So I'm making 2 lines, starting from this side and then the other one. We need to consider space for 2 more houses. So I'm dividing it into 3 equal parts. Now we need to connect it with a triangle. And also at the bottom. After that we can drag the color inside it. Now let's draw the windows on a new layer. For the frames I'm going to use color number 9. The size is fine, it is 20%. And I will start from top. Draw a square here. And add the frames inside. Then I will draw a few more windows. Like this. I'm trying to make them symmetrical, so it is better to start from the opposite side. Then I will also draw the frames inside. Making parallel lines. Actually, to make it faster, we can outline these two windows and then click copy and paste. Just drag them down. Then duplicate the layer and drag it down once again. Now all these frames can be merged. I will create a layer under it and grab the color number 11 to draw the glass. There are a few ways to do that. We can use this layer as the reference, but first let me duplicate it and merge. Since the brush is textured, the selection threshold may be low. Now we can set it as reference, go back to the new layer, then to selection, and switch to automatic. Let's try to tap inside the frames. And I will adjust selection threshold by sliding. After that I will continue tapping, like this. If it's not working properly, make sure there are no gaps in the frames. Okay, this will be enough. Let's click Color Fill. And we will get this. Now we can shade the building. And for that I will just alpha lock the layer. We can add some light shade, let's say number 10. And here I want to use my sugar texture brush. It is also from Sweet Party set, that is free to download. We can set the size to 24% here and highlight the right side. Just a little bit. And now we can also add shading using color number 9. Let's lower the opacity to make the color not so dark, around 70%, and with low pressure, apply it on the left side and at the bottom. Just a little bit. Now with the same color we can draw the roof. We can actually do it on the same layer, we just need to unlock it. And switch back to textured liner. This time we can make the size a bit bigger, around 25%, and draw two lines like this. That will follow the shape of the roof, but go a little outside it. Okay, the first house is ready. Let's draw the second one. In order not to get confused, we can select these layers and group them. Let me call it house number 1. After that I will create one more layer and draw the house on the right side. As the base color for it, we can actually use this brown. And textured liner is already selected. I will just lower the size to 20%. I will draw a similar house, just make it a bit bigger and with different frames. Drawing straight lines first. Then connecting them with a triangle. Closing the shape, so we can fill it. If it's not working, we need to go to the group and remove reference. Let's try again. Now it worked. Let me draw the frames quickly. I'll be using color number 1 and set the size to around 10%. First draw a square. and then a few more windows. Let's draw 2 more and keep some space for the door. It may be slightly visible. I will finish with the windows. And after that, draw the last rectangle. We need to connect it at the bottom. Now I will tap and hold again to bring all the layers back. And add 2 lines inside that will go vertically, like this. When the frames are ready, we can add the glass, and again I will create a layer under it. Set the frames as reference. Go to the layer number 13, and for the glass I will select color number 2. Go to Selection, pick Automatic, and start tapping inside the frames. Then click Color Fill. It worked. We can draw the roof. Let's draw it using the same color. Just make the size bigger, maybe even bigger, around 28%. And I will create a new layer for it. I will place it right above the building. Then draw on top of it. Let's match it. And draw the second half. Okay, the roof is ready. Let's shade the building quickly. I will also alpha lock it first. And apply a highlight on the left. Let me grab light color, number 8, and sugar texture brush. It is at 22%, and I will apply it slightly to add a subtle texture. And to draw the shadow, I will select base color, that was number 9, then create a layer above it, clip it, and set it to multiply mode. This way the color will get darker. And we can apply it. I will make strokes right under the roof. Go to the right. And also apply it on the right side. This way. It will be enough. Let's merge these layers. Then also select all the layers for the building. And group. I will rename it into House 2. And we can draw the last one. I will create a new layer for that. And place it under all layers. We will draw the house in the middle. For the base color I will select number 11. And textured liner. Just lower the size to around 17 or 16%. Let's draw a similar shape but make it a bit smaller. So I'm drawing the first line. And then the second one on the right. Now we need to connect them both on top and at the bottom. So I'm drawing the roof first. And to be able to see the lower side, we can tap and hold here. Then connect it. And before we start dragging the color, let's bring it back first. And we need to remove the reference from the second group. Let's now try it. And as you see, it worked. We can draw the windows and the roof. So let me create a new layer for the windows. And grab color number 2 for the glass. This time I will make the windows very simple. Just lower the size. and draw a small rectangle. This way. I will fill it, and after that draw a few rectangles. That will be slightly bigger. Let me draw the first one. I will fill it right away. And actually I think I will move it closer to the center, like this. I think I will also copy it and then move. Then merge two layers, outline these two, copy and paste again. Then just drag it down. Alright, we did it. I'm merging these two layers and creating another one. This time I will select color number 6 and draw on the left side. And on top of each frame to add some dimension to it. Here the size is set to 13%. Let's do it on this too. And it is done. Let's draw the roof with the same color, and we can stay on the same layer. Just increase the brush size. I'll set it to 36% and draw 2 more lines. I will try to match it. Okay, this one is also ready. We can just shade it. So I will go to the base layer and apply alpha lock to it. For the shadow, let's select color number 14. We need to grab sugar brush and apply it on top. Also on both sides. In the center I will make it lighter. So let's pick color number 4 and make a stroke. Okay, this one is ready too. Let's group the layers and rename it into house number 3. After that I will create a layer to draw some snow on the roofs. And I'm dragging it down. Let's also select color number 7. And again sugar cloud brush, but with a very low size. It can be set to 2%. Then I will draw like this, on top of each roof. The second one. And the last one on the right. Since this roof has light color, we may need to separate it. So I will select color number 6 and make a stroke at the bottom. I think now it looks better. Alright, once it is ready, we can start working on the foreground. And I will create a layer between these two snowdrifts to draw the tree. I hope Procreate gods will forgive us for using a tree stamp, so we skip sketching it and focus more on shading instead, which is more fun. I just feel the video is getting quite long. So let's pick color 6 and grab the stamp from the brushes. Let's try to set it around 25% size and tap. Now we can place it inside the lamp. And also resize. If it's not matching with your shape, you can use warp or distortion. Or just erase it. I'll put it this way. To shade it, let's create a new layer and clip. First I will grab color number 16 from the palette and sugar texture. The size is set to 17% and I will just tap a few times on the branches. Just here and there. Alright, now let's add shadows and highlights. For the highlight, I will select color number 2. Now we can make the size smaller and apply it on one side of each branch. Let me start from the trunk and highlight it on the left. I will transition into this branch then adjust the size and finish the remaining ones that we can see. But I'm always painting on the left. Here we can make it even smaller. And finish the branches on top. The last one. After we added highlights, let's also add the shadow. And we will need a dark color for it. So let's grab number 13. Let me first increase the size and paint on the opposite side. Let's try to press not too much, in order not to make it dark. I will lower the size again and shade this. Here I'm painting on the right. This way the branches will get volume and look organic. Let me make it faster. And now they are ready. This is how the tree looks. Now we can focus on the background. And for that, create a layer above the background color. Let's add some texture to the background, and I will show you an alternative way to do that. This dark color is selected, and we just need to drag it on the canvas to fill it all. Then grab a razor that is already set to sugar cloud brush, and its size is set to 20%. Let's start making strokes to erase some areas, mostly around the lamp. But I will still keep some dark color too. Let's make a stroke inside it, and then a few more around. Maybe we can try to set it to overlay mode, so it'll get even darker. And after that, I will create one more layer above it. This time let's set it to add mode and change the color to number 14. Here I will be using sugar cloud brush too. Its opacity is at 85% and the size is 20% too. Let's make a few more strokes to add the highlights. Also inside it. Then I will grab a razor and erase it on the edge to add sort of a shadow. Slightly under it, like this. And when it is ready, we can also add some snow on top. Let me just lower the opacity of this layer a little. I'll set it to 83%, but you can set this amount according to your result and to your taste. To add the snow, I'll create a layer on top of all layers and select color number 4. Here I want to use fine sandy texture, and I will apply it with 2 different sizes. First, let's set it to maximum and make a few strokes for bigger snowflakes. But not so many of them. Let's also create one more layer under this one and lower the brush size. This time it can be set to around 20%. And we need to make a stroke like this. For smaller texture. I think it looks like too much, so we can play around with opacity or blending mode. I think overlay or soft light could work, so let me try it out. This is how overlay looks, and this is soft light. You can pick whichever one you prefer. Now the snow looks like this. But also I want to add some snowflakes as stamps. This is from the Christmas pack. Let's go to change the color into number 10, which is slightly lighter. We also need to create a new layer for it, so I will place it above all layers again. This is too big. Okay. Now I will be just changing and tapping. Adding bigger and smaller snowflakes. They can be also located inside. Let me add a smaller one here. And then a couple more. Now it is enough. The drawing is almost ready. We can add a wire. For that I will create a layer somewhere here. First I will pick color number 4 from the palette. And also textured liner brush. We can just draw an arc that'll go like this. With the size set to 30%. I will switch to arc here. And then we can adjust it. Alright. Now I will duplicate this one. And recolor the shape that is on top. For that I will alpha lock it. And select color number 3. Then just go back and click Fill Layer. Now let's tap on the arrow. And drag it slightly down. Like this. Actually, the drawing seems to be ready. But since the Christmas is almost around the corner, let's try to make our illustration look more festive and atmospheric. First of all, I will draw the crescent. And for that I will pick color number 12. We can create a layer somewhere under the tree. And using textured liner, just draw an arc in the empty space. Let me lower the size to 15% or so. I will draw the first arc. We can actually tap on it to make it perfect. And then draw another one that will be smaller to finish the shape. Let's fill this one. We can now move it and also rotate. I will move it more to the left, like this. And maybe scale. Now we need to make it shine. And we can do it easily if we duplicate the layer and then blur it. Let's use Gaussian blur. I'll set the amount to 11%, but then we may need to duplicate it. I will merge these two layers, and maybe we can play around with different blending modes to make it shine even brighter. I think color dodge will work. And in the final step, I want to add some light in the windows that can be later turned into an animation. Let's work on the houses one by one, starting with the first group. I'll go inside it and duplicate layer number 9. Let's drag it on top. And after that recolor it into yellow color. So we just need to alpha lock the layer, then fill it, and after that unlock. Now let's blur it just a tiny bit. I selected Gaussian blur and applied it at 3%. Now let's also add bloom. It is here in adjustments. We just need to slide to the right side and pick the amount. Let me start with 17%, and after that we can adjust size and burn. I think I will stop here. So my settings are the following. Bloom is set to 17%, transition is at maximum, size is set to 24%, and burn to 29%. I will deselect it, and after that change the layer's blending mode. I will select pin line to make it more yellow. Alright, let's now go to the second house, which is actually number 3. I will also go inside the group. Also duplicate this layer with the glass and recolor it into yellow using the same technique. Now let's unlock it and also blur. I'll set it to 6% and also pick the blending mode for it. I think hard light will work here, or you can try some other. Maybe we can try to duplicate it even, and after that move it, like this. Okay, let's finish the last one. It is house number 2. I will also open the group, duplicate layer number 13, or actually if we want to keep the door as it is, we can do this. Set the frames as reference again. And after that create a layer above it. Let's go to selection and switch to automatic. Then tap inside the frames, but exclude the door. Like this. Now we can click color fill and it will be recolored. Let's blur it at around 3% or so. After that I will also apply bloom to it. Just slide to the right to 15% and keep the settings as they are. Deselecting. And now I will play around with different blending modes. So I will first set it to difference. Then duplicate the layer and set this one to overlay. I think now our illustration really got this Christmas spirit. But to finish it, let's add dream light that comes from the windows on the snow. And to do that, I will create a layer with a clipping mask above the snowdrift. Let's apply this yellow color using Sugar Cloud, with the size set to around 12%. I will just make a subtle stroke on the surface. We can make the size even smaller. and we can adjust the location. Like this. After this final step, our painter illustration is complete. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. For more tutorials and brush sets, please check out my Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon!